Hello everyone, it's Dranger BME, and today we are reading Mirror Mirror. Uh, I'm gonna warn you though, if you are a bit skittish to like blood and creepy things, and if you have a phobia of mirrors, you probably should not be watching this. So here we go. CreepyPasta presents Mirror Mirror, written by CuriosityBoughttebook. Alright. Oh, it's so laggy. Let me read it. I've been writing stories for as long as I can remember. Ever since I first learned to write, I would always have a notebook and a pencil by my side. It surprises me nowadays when I walk past a bookstore and I see my own novel in the window. I always knew I had a talent for telling stories, but I never thought other people would appreciate it. Lately, I've been feeling very uninspired. The ideas for a new book are lost somewhere behind a powerful case of a writer's block. I always thought the whole thing was a myth because I always have some idea of what I could write next, but not this time. No, I have nothing. My mind is in a blank state, identical to the empty computer document in front of me. It was my friend Laura's idea that I should get away from the city for the weekend and rent an isolated cabin in the woods. For some, this might sound scary, but I've never been afraid of much, and some solitude sounded amazing. I packed my bags on a Friday morning and headed out with enough supplies for the weekend. Before I rented the cabin, I made sure it had Wi-Fi connection as I didn't want to be completely cut off from the world. That would be foolish as one never knows what might happen. The cabin was beautiful. I could tell it was old, but it was kept clean and maintained. It was just a small one-story thing with a living area, a kitchen, a bathroom, and a bedroom. I quickly tested out the bed. It was dreamy. I would have taken a nap right there, but I had work to do. I put away all my groceries I had packed in the kitchen and hung up some of my clothes in the bedroom closet. Then I picked the beautiful oak desk right by the sliding door and set up my laptop to start getting down to writing. Surprisingly, a new idea for a novel came pretty quickly to me. I wouldn't bore you with the details, it was just an inkling of an idea. After a while, I decided I should probably make myself a sandwich for lunch, knowing one should never work on an empty stomach. As soon as I went to my workstation, I noticed a peculiar mirror right behind me on the wall. It was an ugly thing, really. The black paint was badly chipped. It looked as if a corner of the frame had been broken off, and the glass itself was rather hazy. I didn't give it much thought. It had just been of some sentimental value to the owner of the cabin. After my meager lunch of a PB&J and some chips, I decided to have a little nap on the sofa in front of the fireplace. It wasn't cold enough to light it, but the sofa looked cozy enough. I woke to the sound of my laptop ringing away. It was my friend Laura, and I had realized I had forgotten to call her after I arrived at the cabin. A quick peek at the clock on the device showed me it was already 7 p.m. It was going to be dark soon. I answered the call and sat in front of the camera. "Hey, Sophie, you forgot to call me," my friend chided me. "I know, and I'm sorry. I was just eager to get writing. You know how it is." "So, how is the place? I still can't believe you got it for that cheap, and all weekend at that." "Pretty nice, but you know I'm not here for the amenities. Sophie, hold on a second. You didn't tell me you were bringing someone. Who is it? Is it Tom?" "What? I'm alone," I replied, confused. "Someone just walked past that mirror behind you." "Listen, Laura, there's nobody here. I'm all..." And that's when the connection broke off. Thinking back to that moment, I should have packed up my stuff and ran. But like I told you, I didn't freak out easily, and I'm just sure Laura only saw my reflection moving in the mirror. What follows is my recollect of what happened after that. I was desperately trying to get my laptop to connect back to the Wi-Fi, but it was a lost cause. I decided to leave it alone for the night and try to locate the owner in town in the morning. There had to have been an outage or something. My phone hadn't had reception since I arrived, so that wasn't no help. I was a bit frustrated with the situation, But I was here to write and not surf the internet or chat with my friends. I went to bed a couple hours later and sleep came fast, but it only lasted until I was awoken by a high pitched screaming. In fact, it was so loud I cried out from the pain in my ears. I jumped out of bed, turned on the lights in my room, grabbing my phone off the nightstand. I had forgotten I had no signal, so I couldn't call anyone for help. I finally walked to the bedroom door and quietly opened it. I couldn't see or hear anything out of the ordinary, so at that point I was questioning whether that scream had been real at all. I headed to the kitchen, passing my work area on the way, and stepped on a shard of glass. Now it was my turn to scream because it hurt like hell. I dragged myself to the desk chair to look at the damage. It wasn't that bad. It was really only a sliver piece of glass, but it had felt like a lot more. As I pulled it out, I turned around to gaze the spot where it had happened. The entire floor was covered in glass shards. It had fallen from the smashed mirror that was now hanging askew on the wall. As I was sitting there, trying to figure out what to do, a cold breeze suddenly brushed past me. When it came, the stench of rotten decay. I was about to run back into the bedroom and lock the door behind me when a voice whispered into my ear. I scrambled off the chair and tripped over my own feet, feeling a tearing sensation in my ankle. Breathing sounds enveloped me, and I started to panic. I started to crawl away from the spot, but an invisible force grabbed me by the ponytail and held me back. The last thing I remember is a shard of glass coming straight from my throat. Laura must have gotten worried after the video call disconnected and called the police. They found me a few inside the cabin, barely clinging on to life. I can only thank my friend for being alive today. I tried to find out if any crime had ever been committed inside of the cabin or if it was just an angry spirit haunting the place. The problem is that the asylum was very strict no internet policy. Whenever I try to tell them I'm fine and need to leave, they simply show me to a mirror. That's when I start screaming again, as a ghostly white face stares back at me, slitting its own throat. If you all liked the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. It would help me out a lot, and I will read more this coming week because this week there's a Friday the 13th, and it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be pretty cool. 13 equals scary, so even if it's a Thursday, it's gonna be spooky week. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.